This is all about home construction, and here's your hosts, Terry Cannell Beck and Randy Blake.
That's right. Good morning, Randy. Happy Saturday, my friend. I guess it would help if I got you on the right microphone, wouldn't it?
Hello, is anybody up there?
Yeah, you know, I got you now. Sorry about that. What's going on, man?
Just sitting here,
That's good, right?
wasting air.
Not you.
Yep,
Well, how's your week been?
pretty good.
Just good?
Just
not
working.
like, just not great, just good.
Well, you know, work is just the thing you have to do.
Is it really, though?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're not going to win the lottery anytime soon?
I doubt it. You know, I promised my brothers if I ever won it, then I'd fish West Coast summertime, East Coast wintertime.
Nice. All right.
You know, because we're a fishing family. It's just hard for us to get together, being we're scattered all over the United States.
Hey, I get it. That's what happens. You know, we all get older.
And well, you know what? Us brothers, the next one was my next brother down 16 months younger than I am.
Okay.
So we fought a lot. I mean, quite a bit. So we went years and didn't even talk to each other. But one time we talked about moving out west because the timber out there. We had an opportunity to buy 346,000 acres.
Wow, look at you.
And at $1 an acre. Ain't that pretty wild?
That's great.
And we couldn't get anybody to lend us any money, but 10 acres a year would have paid the taxes and paid the mortgage on the property.
Love it.
And then we decided it's better to be brothers than it was fighters.
That's the way it rolls. When you get older, you get wiser, they say. So that's it. Well,
Supposed to.
hopefully that's the plan. So there you go. All about home construction, though. We do appreciate all of our listeners out there. Thank you so much, and all the podcast listeners as well. And
Yes.
it's been fun. Been fun. We actually heard from quite a few listeners this week, and talking. I know you had mentioned off the air. You talked to some people listening to us about the trusses and stuff, and floor joists, and all that fun stuff. So,
Well, we did miss a lot of stuff, okay? But the thing is, we only have 45 to 50 minutes.
yeah, we need longer shows, I guess, right? That's why we keep tying them in, though, between all last couple weeks, and then we get into our topic this week, and hopefully that covers more of it. So that's the thing, though. That's the fun thing about construction, right? That's how we've had this show for 14 whatever years. Like we've been able to keep adding on and you know, covering different things. So we appreciate it. That's what I like about the podcast, though, is you can go back and catch it all at once, and if you want, spend the time. There you go.
And you know, also, these shows or these floor joists and stuff we've been talking about. Floor joist goes all the way back to shows we had
Yep.
long time ago.
Long time.
Trusses didn't come out to the, I guess, the 60s.
Right.
I don't know when the I-Joists come out. I guess the 90s. And so the evolution of construction is important.
That's always fun. We need to get another history show going on pretty soon. Maybe we'll have to work on that one. So, but yeah, I mean, you're right. Like it didn't take long for people to realize like we've got to. You can't build everything on the ground, right? You got to build something up, and then of course as we start to get into utility stuff, you know, plumbing, electrical, things like that, HVAC, you have to have a place for that, and that means you have to elevate the floor, and you know, then of course when you build up 2 stories, what are you going to do for the second? And so, I mean, it just you
got to do some planning.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and of course today, you know, land isn't getting any cheaper, obviously, and so I think just like we see in cities, right? Like at some point you start building up, and I think we're starting to see that some in smaller towns and smaller cities. I mean, look at Boone, for instance. We're not we're not a huge city compared to like Raleigh or something, Charlotte, but we're still starting to build up, if you notice, you know.
Correct.
And
did you say something about the road systems is not big enough to carry the load around here?
Well, yeah, that's a given one.
Well, you know, I'd like for everybody out there to call their House of Representative and Senator and complain about the roads up here. You know, we know that Helena tore them up,
Right.
but now that campus is back,
It's rough.
it is extremely rough.
I mean, wow, that's a whole nother show, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm going to complain.
You go for it, man.
I blame North Carolina on my fuel mileage.
Oh, I blame him on my the everything underneath my car that's falling, hitting my tires, you name it.
Well, what I get at is when I was a kid, I could leave my house and be anywhere in Boone in 20 minutes. Now I can leave my house, and it depends on the day. It could take you 40 minutes.
Yep. Oh, I know. Look, I have to go across King Street every afternoon to go home, and there's a difference between 3:30 and 6:30.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, just like us in contracting and the shows that we've had, we have to plan ahead for the future on what we're going to build.
Yeah, well, I mean, infrastructure is a big part of that, right? Like you've got to, and that's the thing. Like in anything we talk about, you have to be innovative, and you're not building for the past; you're building for the future. And things are going to change, things are going to evolve, and housing's no exception to that, right? Like we know that we build houses more efficient than ever before, and when it comes to the infrastructure, like if you're going to grow, you have to be able to support that growth.
Yep. Yes,
And
yes, you do.
We tend to not do that necessarily.
And that leads us up to our next segment.
That's it. The installation guides. Randy comes in and gives me this big book. I'm talking like a book. Like
it ain't no book.
It is a book. It's like 5 pound. Okay, it's like 12 pages, but if it's like a book, and it's got like math in it, and he brings it into me, and it's like, Randy, it's Saturday morning. I don't want to do math, but then I got stuck into reading it and sucked into it, and so Randy, you've got some Trus Joist. Is that
Trus Joist? Yes. We started out with floor joists. Last week we did floor trusses, which allow you to span greater spans than nominal lumber. And then, so the next evolution in the floor joist system, which can even go into rafter system, just like trusses can do both,
right,
is the Trus Joist system. And it depends on your project and your budget on what you want, because of the free spans that you can get out of these I-Joists.
right. So Trus Joist itself is a specific brand,
Right.
Weyerhaeuser, and it's just an engineered, I guess, would you call it a wood product, I guess? An engineered wood product. It has things like TJI, the I-Joists. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things that company has. I guess they do LVLs, or it includes LVLs.
Paralams, glue lambs.
Yeah.
Most people, Weyerhaeuser is not an American company.
Right.
Weyerhaeuser is a Canadian company.
Okay.
And believe it or not, after the housing crunch that we had, Weyerhaeuser owns a lot of our companies in the United States.
Okay.
Timber companies.
Gotcha.
But they did all this. I know Weyerhaeuser did their own engineering and stuff to manufacture their own products.
Gotcha.
And I remember sometime during the 90s, I watched This Old House, and they were talking about using their glue lamps, glue lamps, or power lamps.
Yeah.
And one thing that stood out is they had a big beam, and it was anchored on one end with one post that was concreted in. And then they had then it come out like 10 foot, 12 foot, I can't remember. But they had a cardboard church that they had built underneath of it, and it like a 1/4 inch touching the bottom of that beam.
Huh.
And it'd been there for years. It never sagged.
Wow, that's cool.
So I mean that's really putting
really
your
cool.
company on the line.
Sure.
So everybody walks through the front door gets to see this.
Sees it, yeah.
And just the manufacturing process of that was tremendous.
Sure. I don't have a lot of experience with the Paralam, but the one thing that I have is I helped when I was doing wood floors, is they were building an addition and they needed extra help. Like we're there doing the floors and they're like, we need you to come over and help because they couldn't get it in the building. Like you had to go through the house and stuff to get it to where they were working. And I think it was massive. Like it felt massive. Right. But then when you think about like what it does, it's not near as massive as like what you would have to do if you built it from sticks.
Yeah, correct.
You know, I mean, it's like, yeah. I just remember carrying the thing was heavy. Yeah. Okay. So we're talking a little bit then about the Trus Joist and their, was it, I guess TJI. I don't know what TJI stands or TJI. Sorry. I don't know what TJI stands for. Trus Joist. I don't know what the I means.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, that's sort of their main product here. That's what Randy brought me in this morning to look at. And it's like I said, it's, I appreciate the math lesson this morning.
Well, and and they have a budget for everybody because if you look on page 2.
Hold on. Let me get there. Give me 10 minutes. Okay, I'm there. I'm telling you, it's a book. All right.
It is, but the cheapest joist they have is a 110 joist. Okay.
Yep.
And what it means by that is, it's similar to what we have. A floor joist standing on the edge is 1.5 inches.
Right. All
right. Well, this is not cheap. This is not a cheap product, but the top chord of that floor joist is 1.75 inches.
Yeah.
So you have a little more to put on it.
Gotcha.
For nailing flange. They will actually go up to 3.5 inches wide. And I really like that idea because, even though you want your plywood to hit directly in the center to carry the load straight down to the bottom chord, you might miss a little bit.
Sure.
So at least you got 3.5 inches of
gives
something.
you a little wiggle playroom.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the TJI, I don't want to keep saying G. TJI, the I-Joists. I mean, they're basically this. Think of like an I-beam, and I guess they have flanges on the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
And then the OSB is the webbing, and I guess that kind of ties it all together, right?
Yeah. Okay. If you look at them, we've worked on houses that have them.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have a taper in this on the bottom and top.
Okay.
So as it goes through the machine, it puts the glue in, then it compresses it down. So it goes from 7/16 down to 3/8.
Okay.
Up inside, and it's a hot glue. I never, like I say, I've seen them. I've never seen the manufacture of that project. The Paralam and the glue lambs, I've seen them manufacture.
Right.
And then the LVLs is similar to a glue lamb. The only difference is in veneer.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean that's the thing, and again, so think of these floor joists, if you will, right, as I-beams, only made out of wood instead of like you'd think of as a steel I-beam or something. Yeah. So, but my thing is when I see those, is the OSB, like, I guess my brain doesn't think about the engineering side of things, right? Because when you look at it, it's like that OSB's you're counting on a lot of OSB structural stuff, and I've always heard that it's not structural. In other words,
well, it is
right,
but you're not where your structural part of it that you have to do the extra supporting is your crush blocks where you got walls above, like your exterior walls, and it's they're designed that you put your crush blocks in, you leave them 1/8 inch from the top chord.
Gotcha.
So that gives you a little give on it. If it does give, you're never going to notice it because of the spans that you use these floor trusses on or TGIs on.
Right.
And so 1/8 inch is not a lot, but that just gives you some insurance that it can't go past the crush block.
I'm with you.
And another thing that I really like about them is on the same page it took you an hour to find there.
Yep.
Is all the holes you can put in it, but you have to put, your plumbing pipe, your water lines, your duct work and stuff, but you have to pay attention to what they tell you or that joist will fail.
Well, and I wanted to get into that because to me, that's one of the advantages about this is the all the utilities stuff you can do.
Yep.
So let's take a break, and we'll come right back right after this. Thanks for listening to us.
Are you looking for a sawmill dealership that can provide you with the quality equipment you need to get the job done? Look no further than Blue Ridge Sawmills. We offer the full line of Hudson sawmills and sawmilling equipment, from portable sawmills to skidding winches. At Blue Ridge Sawmills, we understand that every project is different, which is why we offer a wide range of sawmilling services. We can help you from everything from finding the right mill for your farm, hobby, or even your business. We also offer a variety of sawmilling supplies such as blades and debarkers, so you can get everything you need in one place. If you're looking for a sawmill dealership that can provide you with the quality equipment and the service you need, then come to Blue Ridge Sawmills. We're here to help you get the job done. Call or visit our Cana, Virginia store at 276-755-3833 or our Asheboro, North Carolina location at 336-964-8304.
That's right. All about home construction here on WATA. Thanks to all of you for listening to us. And happy Saturday. Welcome back. First week of school in the books, Randy. So it's a fun Saturday.
Oh, you know what we forgot too was our safety. Pay attention to the school buses.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it. It's with more, we were talking about infrastructure a while ago, but with more people on the roads and stuff, it's like you gotta pay attention, because there's quite a bit of bus stops that people don't realize are bus stops, and then people don't. I don't know. I don't want to blame it because we have the Apple Cart, but maybe that's it, where people just assume you can go around a bus. But if you have a yellow school bus with a stop sign, like, no, you can't go around. You'll kill a kid.
Well, that could happen.
I mean, and I know that sounds harsh, but like that's what it is. You're risking that, because I've timed it. Most stops run you about 30, 40 seconds at the most. So you're risking 30, 40 seconds of your time. You're saying, hey, that 30, 40 seconds is not, it's worth risking a child's life.
Yep.
I mean, because if you go around a bus and you're going to save yourself, 30 minutes on your commute? Well, if you're in town, you're probably going to get stopped at the same stoplight anyway. But, that's a different issue.
Yeah.
Point is,
we forgot it last week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Point is, don't pass a stopped school bus whatsoever. That's. I will always have that on my soapbox.
Well, I was a school bus driver in
Hey.
high school.
I've seen it close. I've never seen an accident, but there's been a few times where my heart jumped out. Like, oh no, here it goes. And luckily, everything was good. But too many close calls, and it's not worth it. So. For sure.
Yep.
Sure. So, yep. There you go. I mean, I've always said that. Takes most stops a few seconds. So.
Well, you asked me a question a little bit ago.
I did.
About TJIs.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a difference between a TJI and an I-Joist. A
Okay.
TJI has laminated top and bottom cords.
So that's what I was wondering. Like, again, when you look at these things, right, you have, think of an I-beam with a piece of wood on the top and the bottom and OSB in the middle, this webbing. I was wondering why, like, what's keeping, Randy from taking a 2x4 and gouging out a hole down the middle of it, and then making your own. And that would be it, because it's all laminated and glued different. Like, in other words, you can't just do this yourself.
Well, it was done. I was telling Terry about my dad. Back in the 90s when they came out, they never made the floor systems themselves, but they made the rafters themselves.
Right.
And what they did was they ripped down OSB, and then they glued a 2x4 flat on the top and bottom. Mm-hmm. And they got away with it because there was no, at that time period, the codes didn't tell you to go out and have something engineered.
Right.
Or the inspector didn't do it. And that is the VFW at Calabash.
Okay.
Now, how many times has Calabash got hit with hurricanes down there?
It's still standing.
And it's still standing. And a lot of times, you can create things, and you actually, believe it or not, put more work into it than the factory does.
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean,
Because, like, I'm sitting, I take pictures and send them to Terry while we're talking, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know.
But the thing is we're looking at an I-joist and a TJI. And as I said before, TJIs are laminated top and bottom, where an I-joist is just a 2x3, 1.5 by 3 inch. That looks more like a 2 inch.
2 inch, yeah.
That is just like a 2x4 with a slot ripped in it.
Right.
And then it's forced in it and glued.
Yeah.
But where they use the other, now you got top and bottom core just 3.5 inches flat against it. So you're actually picking up a lot of strength that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like I said, that's what I've always thought is I mean, when you see this thing, it looks like a pretty simple design. Again, you just take your router, you cut a groove down the middle of a 2x4, and you stand up a piece of OSB in it. But there's actually a lot more to it than that. And again, especially when you start looking at it and it's laminated, because engineered wood, I think sometimes gets a bad rap. Because we all like wood products. I mean, it's kind of ingrained in us. And see what I did there. It's ingrained in us to like wood, but an engineered product is still wood. It's just that it's different layers of wood, right?
Well, it's ways of taking care of waste.
Right. But it's also because you can engineer it the way that's where plywood came about, right? Like simple plywood even.
Which we know we've been veneering since the 1700s.
Right. And so what that does though is that allows wood to move differently, and it makes it stronger or more stable. I don't want to say stronger, more stable.
Well, to give you an idea, the difference between a TJI is they have a depth range of 9.5 inches to 24 inches.
Yeah.
Okay. And they can span up to 48 feet. That's a long ways.
That's huge.
All right. Then an I-joist, as we talked about, is like a 1.5 by 2 inch pieces glued. From 9.5 to 16 inches can only span 32 feet.
So you get a lot more distance.
Correct. We don't have any 2x12s that will span 32 foot.
What's a 2x12 when because you got to worry about the loads and the bouncing.
About 19.5.
So you can get under less than 20 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even though when you start to push that 19 feet, there's a difference than pushing this, I guess you'd say.
That's right.
Yeah.
On your deflection.
Yeah.
Because, see, you're limited. I have a book at the house somewhere that talks about 2x14s. Mm-hmm. But I've never seen a 2x14
right.
in all my years of construction. But at one time, that was
massive. Yeah. Ugh. Could you imagine carrying that one on the job site?
Well, yeah. Times has changed.
Right.
People's not as strong as they used to be.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But I mean, again, it goes back to efficiency. You can use less materials in the factory doing this. But what I like about it is like you said, could you imagine carrying that 2x14? But you could carry these TJI joists. You can carry that. One man can
a 30 foot.
Can pick up a 30 foot and carry it.
Yeah. The glue seems different in a TJI than it does OSB sheeting.
Okay.
And
do you think their OSB is like is it just the same as what we would get off the shelf at the box store?
No,
it's a different OSB. Even though it's an OSB web, it's different
total
quality.
different glue.
Yeah,
because like I told you before, when the first time I ever seen OSB was I was 16-year old. We were building the roundhouses up on Beach Mountain. Mm-hmm. And a guy brought a 5-gallon bucket and filled it with water and put OSB in it. And he said, I'll be back in 30 days to show you what it does.
That's crazy.
And the bucket sat there.
Yeah.
So it got to expand and contract, evaporate, fill up.
Right.
And in 30 days, it never delaminated. If you take it off the shelf today and you put it in a bucket of water in 30 days, it's already swelled.
Let's say, yeah. 30 minutes.
Where the TJIs, they have to withstand the time period. If you're using TJIs, you're building a big house.
Right.
All right. And so you're not going to get that house dried in as fast as you are a little house where you're using regular floor joists.
Right. So that's it. It's going to be a lot more stable in terms of
Correct.
resisting that. But that's the thing, right? That's one of the advantages of that is that this is it's a straighter product. It's a more uniform product, regardless of the weather, than your traditional lumber. So again, going back to that 2x12, how many 2x12s do you get that's already twisted or warped? And then, we all know lumber today, lumber's always moved, shrinked, and swollen,
Correct.
but
This
lumber
is more
today,
consistent.
I was going to say lumber today is just crazy. I mean, it's in twisting and stuff. And so, yeah, this is going to be a lot more uniform, a lot straighter, a lot more stable. And not just during the building phase of things, right? I mean, we live in the mountains when we get these rainy days and rainy weeks, and then the next week's going to be super hot and dry. And so that moisture changes the house. And I think we forget about that a lot of times. It's easy to see when it comes to your doors and your cabinet doors and your floors and stuff. You see the movement, but that's moving behind the drywall. We just don't tend to see that.
Correct.
So.
And it all does. The whole house, if it don't move, then it'll fall down.
Yeah, exactly. And, yeah, so I mean that's the key that's what I like about this being this engineered product is that it's you're going to get a more stable, because I think a lot of times we forget the stability of what wood does, But,
Well, when OSB was first created, they were using aspen tree. Mm-hmm. It's a tree that only gets about 8 inches across.
Right, which at the time was considered a junk tree. What else are you going to do with it?
So the lumber industry figured, well, golly, let's take these junk trees, let's chip them up and make something out of them.
Yeah.
And the first OSB you ever seen was putting it in closets, and it was brown.
Yeah.
That's had
Yep.
brown spots
Yep.
in it from from the aspen tree.
Yep.
Then somebody got the bright idea to use yellow pine because the renewables.
Right. I mean, well,
So if you cut
yeah.
down, if you go to the coast and you look and they plant the fields, every few years they come through and they get cemented.
Thin them out, right?
Yeah, so most of that goes to pulpwood, and down at the other side of Laurinburg is a grinding plant.
Yeah.
To grind them up.
It's actually, pretty cool. I guess agriculture farming techniques, right? They go in, plant these trees, and then every so many years, like you said, they come in, they thin them out, and that allows the ones they leave to grow bigger and stronger, and eventually they clean those out.
Correct.
Start all over.
25 years.
25, yeah.
Well, they I think around year 12, we had that guy to come.
Yeah.
down. They fertilize them.
Yep.
And the biggest, the straightest go for telephone poles. The rest go for lumber.
Yeah. That's why we can't get straight lumber anymore.
Well, yellow pine, yellow pine ties itself in a knot just from sunshine.
I know. I've seen it. I've cut it. I've had it on the sawmill, and you come watch it cut off the top, and you can just watch it rise up 4 or 5 inches. It's like, oh, look at the tension in that.
And TJI's also has holes knockouts for water lines.
That's the cool part to me is that it allows for these holes for the in the webbing for plumbing, HVAC, electrical, right? No, I guess there's probably. Looking at this book, like you don't just randomly cut a hole in it.
You have to pay attention.
I would say there's this process to it, but still, wherever you need that, there's a way to get that, and then
Further to the center, the bigger the hole.
But you're not going to be able to do that in that standard 2x12, right?
No, you're not.
Like you can't just go anywhere and drill a 6-inch hole into it to get that pipe through. Despite what any plumber thinks they can do.
Correct. Not necessarily plumbers, heat and air guys too.
Heat and air, I know. I'm just picking on plumbers because I was watching some videos the other day. I was showing some plumbers where they were. Well, I was showing after they came through, and they were just drilling holes.
Well, I seen you pictures every time I get.
Those Facebook videos are the worst for Randy and I. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back right after this. Thanks for listening.
Obviously, by listening to this podcast, you see the value of All About Home Construction. Well, by joining our listener supporter community, you're not just tuning in, you're standing with us as we are able to support and fuel our passions of the construction industry. As a listener supporter, you'll enjoy exclusive perks, including hearing your name, or maybe even your business name, on our show. So please go to our Spotify website. The link will be in the show notes, and join. You can join for as little as $1 one-time fee, $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever you think you can afford. Every single penny helps to keep this show going as we can continue to grow and do lots more things. Thanks a lot. And again, more importantly, thank you for listening to this.
That's right. All About Home Construction here on WATA and on the podcast, All About Home Construction. Go check it out. Share it with friends.
We do appreciate it.
Oh, so totally, man. Totally. So, yeah. And you know, this is a tie-on from, this is episode number 3, essentially now, of floor joist-ish things. I'm going to say ish because we've talked about different types of floor
we could
joists.
actually go back on floor joists and do another show. Another 2 shows on trusses and
Yep.
probably another 3 shows on this.
Yeah, totally. So again, go back and listen to it on the podcast, and we'll tie in the last couple episodes. We'll go along with what we're talking about today. The TJI I-Joist, from Trus Joist, and yeah, I like this. And, you know, one thing that I think is such a cool thing about this that we've talked about already, but that is these big spans. And more and more in building, we like open floor plans.
Yes, we do.
And so these larger spans allow for that. And, you know, it kind of makes sense. Like, small rooms, I think we've always liked, when you go back looking at it, like the history of building, we've always liked as big as we could get in terms of open floor plans. It's just the limitations of the materials we're using. And so now we're able to go out and get even larger floor plans, which allow, or larger floor spans, which allows us to have open floor plans. And, but that's just the way we live too, right? How many times, like if we have a party at our house, right? Like we flow from the living space into the kitchen space. Like it's not like we have formal dining rooms, like, you know, standalone dining rooms like we did 100 years ago.
Correct.
And so these truss joists kind of help with that. You know, they allow for those larger floor plans.
They do,
and that's not necessarily in a big, you know, we say that a lot of times we think of like big mansions, but no, that's the average house, right?
correct. And but to give you an idea, most of your big holes on a TGI are cut in the middle.
Right.
Okay. And I'm looking here at it, and you take the middle of the joist, the maximum you can cut a square out of it.
I'm sorry, what page is this on? Okay. Hear that scene? It really is a big book.
But the maximum width or maximum hole width you can cut is 24 inches long.
Which is pretty big.
That's massive.
I mean,
that takes care of your square ductwork.
That's what you're going to say. Yeah.
Heating and air.
Like,
but then you can't cut your next hole for 48 inches on each side.
Right.
But you can't cut a hole that size.
But when you go practical, like that's not a problem. Like you're not going to run into that's not a major engineering problem.
No, it's telling you that you can do it.
You can. I mean, that's, yeah. So if you have this and you have a basement now underneath, you're going to have a full-size basement, or you can easily.
Without dropping your ductwork
Yeah.
underneath. You can come out of your utility room with your ductwork into the ceiling.
So and that would be cheaper than the alternative of using regular floor joists. Now you have to go up an extra layer or extra whatever inches on your basement
how many
drop
houses
down.
you've been in older homes where they had chases around the ceilings?
Yep.
To run the ductwork.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Well, that's all they had back then.
Right.
And that's the reason I'm a big fan of floor trusses.
Mm-hmm. Because you can get them. It makes total sense. And yeah, well, I've always been a basement fan because I think it's otherwise a wasted space. It's the cheapest living space you can build when you're building a house.
It is.
So, I guess, all right, look, we've talked a lot about the positives. I guess some of the downsides, I guess, is a little bit higher cost than like
It is.
standard lumber, but that's just the upfront cost, right? Because I think when you start figuring in, like we just talked about, with HVAC and labor, even, right? That offsets it quite a bit.
Correct. That's what you have to take into account is what you think your labor will be. Unlike a regular house with floor joists. All right. Let's say we built that log cabin down off a mountain. Mm-hmm. Okay. That log cabin was 24 foot wide. Mm-hmm. All right. It called for putting 2 intermediate beams in it. Okay. So if probably if we could have got away with it, we could ask the engineer to switch us over to TJIs, eliminate those 2 intermediate beams, and span the whole 24 foot, and probably save money, even though it costs more money. See what I'm getting at?
Right, totally.
Because when you're looking at it, let's look at a floor system. Your house is 24 foot wide. Mm-hmm. You got to put a beam in somewhere in a 24 foot wide house. You either recess it up inside the floor system or you drop it underneath.
Right.
Okay. So if you drop your girder system underneath, you can span your floor joist is 24 feet. Mm-hmm. If you put your beam up inside the floor system, then you've got less than 12 foot on your floor joists, but you're adding 2 extra hangers to the situation.
Right.
One on each side of the girder.
Which adds time and cost and
so you might have to do some extra planning. So, like I know you've heard me gripe on Will's house because we built it on posts. We didn't put it on foundation.
Right.
But we put the drop down beam in the center of it, so our floor joist was 24 foot long, so we didn't have any breaks in our insulation.
Nice.
But when we went upstairs on the 12-12 pitch roof, we came in 5 foot to build the wall, and we actually put the furnace inside the wall, so it was in a conditioned space.
Yeah.
So even though Buck come in and they insulated it before we even installed the furnace.
Right. That's cool.
Okay. So that's the first time I ever had Buck blown in the rafters.
Yep. I remember you saying that. Yep.
And so now we were able to go in and put the furnace in, and we didn't have to use all the masking and stuff on it like you do if you put it underneath your floor up in an attic.
Right.
And so we made our blower door test came in excellent.
Sure.
But if we'd had TGIs, then we could have possibly run it underneath and we got a furnace that's made for outside.
Right.
See, I mean, there's a lot of options out there that you can do.
Right.
And I did send Terry a picture of how to fix plumbers' mess ups in standard floor joists on his phone.
Which one was that one you sent?
I just sent it.
Oh, I was like, wait, okay.
Because they do have.
Oh, it's like this metal plate that goes around it.
Oh yeah. That's been out since about 94, 95.
Nice.
And so that helps the
add some structure.
The bad plumber.
Yeah. Well, when you're installing this, it's not just. I don't want to say it's simple. It's as simple as cutting it, but you have to. There's a certain learning curve, I'm sure, of installing it when it comes to like cutting and making the proper cuts and notches.
Correct.
But I would imagine it's not that big of a learning curve.
Oh, I'd say it takes you longer to read the book than it does to install.
Right.
But you have to pay attention, and what I mean by paying attention is you've got your stairway openings.
Right.
It addresses every stopping area that you stop in a floor system.
That's cool.
Well, there is no book on putting floor joists in. Everybody it's just a standard deal,
Yeah.
You put your band on the outside, you run on.
Yeah.
The outside band on these is a little heavier because it's an OSB type product or laminated product.
Right.
It's just a way of taking care of waste.
I like that, and it's more efficient. I don't know. It seems really cool. It seems like some cool stuff, and I don't know. Maybe we'll try it out. Take another break. We'll come right back right after this.
The Boone VFW Post 7031 is looking at making improvements to their Veterans Memorial Wall, and you can help. Here's Chuck.
We could do engraved bricks to cover the memorial. It's in honor of the veterans who have served and some that have given their all for our country. And that's the one thing that we feel as the VFW that we can do to honor those who have come before and those who are even present today.
But Chuck, what do we have to do to participate?
You don't have to be a war veteran in order to be a part of this memorial. It's just that you served.
What is the cost?
That fee is only $50, but it's a lifetime investment.
If you would like to help participate by honoring a family member, a friend, or a loved one, you can contact the Boone VFW Post 7031 at 828-264-9570. They are on VFW Drive just off of State Farm Road here in Boone. Thank you for all that have served.
That's right. All about home construction here on WATA. Thanks for listening to us. Happy Saturday morning. And and talking a little bit about Trus Joist, their TJI product. And it's, again, big, kind of like think of like an I-beam with flanges in the top and bottom out of wood and OSB webbing in the middle. And then that's what you have. So it's pretty cool flooring. And we're talking a lot about flooring, but they have you can use. They have a product for roof trusses as well.
Yes.
So, all right. So again, on page like 332 of this book you gave me,
Big.
it's not that big, but it feels like it. But it talks about the web stiffeners, in the floor and the roof, and how we put those in, and that's kind of an interesting little thing there. Explain the web stiffeners.
Well, they call them crush blocks, okay? And crush blocks will go on the outside walls, and that's to hold up, that they go inside your TGIs.
Right.
And on those, you're supposed to leave an 1/8 inch gap, as we talked about before. If the weight of it comes down, you'll never see that 1/8 inch give in your walls. But one thing about them is if you use the rim board's the same height as the truss or the TGI.
Right.
So there's no way it could actually come down.
Okay.
I mean, but then when you get to the load-bearing walls on the inside, your crush block don't fit inside your TGI. It fits on the outside.
Right.
So now it supports the wall itself instead of putting the weight of the load-bearing on the TGI.
Gotcha. So again, what I like about it is it's just making it stronger and stiffer and using less materials in some ways.
Well, smaller nails.
That's what.
Because all this is supposed to be put together with 8-penny nails.
That's the coolest. Well, and that's one thing, like number one on that very first page, one of the warnings it talks about is not to walk on it until it's braced. That's what I'm looking for, braced. So, and that's part of it, right? But once it's braced correctly with these webbings, once the webbing is based correctly and everything's braced correctly,
and your bracing's also to keep your line up.
Yeah.
For your plywood and stuff. We do it in long floor joists. We'll put a 1x4 across it.
Right.
So we're not having to pull our system. But the thing about that is we can walk out on those.
Yeah.
With TGIs, you have to do a little bit of planning. Put
Right.
your brace on, or do like trusses. Start your brace, put your layout on it, and as you go across, tack it down.
That's what you said. Yep. So, yeah, pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
But it's there's a lot of science that went behind this product.
There's some cantilever details so that you can extend out if you needed to. There's ways to do that. That's kind of a cool. Again, eliminating somewhere potentially eliminating an extra wall, an extra beam.
Correct.
That's.
So when you're sitting down doing your planning, you need to look at all these options.
Yeah. Actually, that cantilever, I just thought about that. Like, that would be huge here in the mountains where we have these big, large, scenic living rooms and stuff where maybe you want to extend out and just over something, but you don't want to put a wall or basement underneath that part, right?
Correct. Well, one of my things I always wanted to build after we built Will's house on stilts, was these lots that are too steep to build on.
Yeah, that's
And I knew the Mr. Bill that did the design
Right.
on the stilt house in Blowing Rock, right? And those I-beams went out to support the decks around. So if you that's a big house. So if you were to take these lots that are steep and build a steel foundation on it and use your steel as your outriggers for your decks around, so you can actually live in the trees. And I think that would just be a nifty,
totally
nifty house with a lot of windows in it.
Yeah, I mean, but just like you said though, like the smaller footprint on the initial floor.
Correct.
And then, but then you can come out with these cantilever details here, or cantilever design with these TJI I-Joists. And now, you've extended out. I mean, it's right now, 4 feet is what this is saying. I think there's ways to go longer, but it looks like it's 4 feet without really.
You'd have to tell me what page of the book it's on.
2932. No, page 5, I think that is. It's before the picture with all the red. So, anyway, I'm telling you, this is a book. But anyway, it's talking about the cantilever details there. And so that's, I don't know, it's just cool because it gives you some options, and that's what I like about that is
gives you a lot of options.
Is some of the options, and again, you can use it for all sorts of things, like we said, floor systems, roof systems, beams, and headers. I don't know. It's cool stuff. It's cool stuff.
Well, they cover. It's not a very big book.
No, it's really not. I'm giving him a hard time because when you look at it, there's a lot of numbers.
But on standard wood, 2 foot's our maximum overhang with a cantilever until you get it engineered.
So, okay. Last question for you is compared to wood. Do you have to worry about like fire codes and things like that? Like, is there anything that's
I wouldn't
different?
think so.
I guess. I mean, I would imagine it wouldn't.
I wouldn't think so.
It's. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not like we talked about last week where you have to put in fire breaks and things like that.
No, you still have to have.
We still would have to.
You got your holes there,
right?
Okay, that your ductwork's going to run through. Your plumbing's going to. So in most cases, you'll be able to caulk around it with fire caulk.
Okay.
See, that would be a lot cheaper there.
Gotcha. Cool. I like it, man. I like it. So when are we gonna do it? When are we gonna use it?
I don't know, but you can even look on the back page here, and they got a ruler there for you, so you take the dumb out of it.
I got a ruler. I got a ruler on my phone now.
So you can't be like Jethro, not.
I downloaded an app that like takes pictures and measures things.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
I've not really used it. I don't know if it's still on there. I think I deleted it at one point, but because I've downloaded it thinking like I was going to do a contest with it and a real tape measure to see how close it was, and then it didn't last because I never got around to doing it. So
don't be so tight. Just buy one of them little handheld lasers.
I just stick with my $2 tape measure. That's probably not right.
Would you pay $2 for a tape measure?
No, I'm joking. My thoughts are if I use the same tape measure for everything, it doesn't matter if it's correct or not.
Well, it's yours.
I was gonna say, isn't that the way it works? I don't work for Randy. I don't care if his tape measure is better than mine. I just use the wood itself and mark it. Who needs to measure anything? Measure twice? Why? Just mark it. Go on. It'll cover up with trim.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like we was in a house. Where was I at? And I said, that's the reason they call that rough frame. And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, the stud like the 1/4 inch getting to the top or getting to the bottom of the plate. And I'm going, there is a formula for that tells you how much air that will leak in your house. And
well, the rest of my house is so tight I have to have some airflow. Isn't that the way it works?
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, thanks for listening to us. All about home construction. It's been a fun one. Again, go back and listen to the other 2 episodes about floor joists and trusses and stuff, and it'll be fun. You'll appreciate it.
Yep.
So,
and thank you.
Good stuff. All right. Another show in the books, and I guess we'll do it again next time. And who knows what we're talking about next week.
That's right.
So stay tuned. Send us some more emails, some Facebook messages if you want. If you got questions, we like to answer those there as well. So thank you, Randy. Have fun this week. Maybe stay. It looks like a dry week, so get some work done this week. All right.
Yep.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later. Take it easy. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the podcast edition of All About Home Construction. We want to thank Skipper, Dave, and Bill for supporting the show. If you're enjoying this episode and you want to help us by creating some more awesome content, there are a few ways you can show your support. Subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. This actually helps us reach new listeners and climb the charts. And please share this episode with your friends and family. Word of mouth is always the best kind of advertising. You can support us directly through our page on Spotify. The links are in the show notes. Thanks for listening to us.